All right, guys, we got Athletic Director Rick George. He's going to give an update, and then we'll open it up to your questions after that.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. Just a couple things to start, and then want to take any questions that you have. One, I feel really good about our start to being in the Big 12 and where our programs are today. Football being 4-1 is really exciting, where we thought we would be. But we have a lot of work to do, as everybody knows, and as Coach Prime has said. Our men's golf's off to a great start. They've had a terrific fall at this point. Our volleyball team had a huge win Saturday against Texas Tech and was a great step for our women's volleyball team. Soccer's off to a great start, been highly ranked all season. Like what Danny and his team are doing, had a tough one on Saturday, but that's in the rearview mirror. We're excited about what's ahead cross country. Sean Carlson, really pleased with the direction of that program and what he's doing. Also excited about tennis and women's golf and the start that they've had in their non-traditional season. Men's and women's basketball have started practice, and we have promising year ahead of us, and I know we'll get some game times here in the next hopefully 24, 48 hours that we can release. But I'm also really proud of our student athletes and what they're doing and what they're accomplishing out there. As all of you know, there was a preliminary approval of the House settlement yesterday, something that we're really focused on, and I'm certain that you'll have questions about that. But I'm excited about the preliminary approval because it allows us some kind of guidance, even though we don't have all the answers to our questions. It does give us some guidance as to where this is going. In the meantime, it's really important for us that we continue to focus on our NIL collective with the 5430 Foundation and the support that they're giving our student athletes. We'll have an announcement soon on a partnership that we're creating with Elevations Credit Union that I won't get into today, but we're really excited about that. We know the challenges of the House settlement are big and broad. We're prepared for them. We've been focused on the House settlement for the last 4 to 5 weeks, 4 to 5 months, that we've been working on. But it's a significant change in college athletics, and I'm certain that you've read a couple other things that have come out about these 70-team leagues and 72-team leagues. And I want to make our Buff Nation understand that we're having those conversations. We're abreast of what's going on in our industry, and again, there's a lot ahead on that. You may have seen that we announced a Buffs United campaign, and it's really a campaign to focus all of our energy on the future. And the future, the new future begins July 1 of 2025, and this Buffs United is really an effort for us to get all of our alumni engaged, our fans engaged, in helping us prepare for what's ahead in the future. So those are my comments and to kick this off, and I'll open it up for any questions that anybody has.
Okay, if you just want to raise a hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Let's go to Tyler.
Hey, Rick, Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. Yep. You mentioned the 5430, the foundation, the collective. Where do you feel like you guys have come in the last couple of years, just kind of getting organized, and where do you feel like is the next step you guys need to take NIL-wise?
Well, look, I think NIL is going to change, and I guess what I'd say first is we're really pleased at where the 5430 has come and where it started. I think everybody knows we were a little behind in NIL to start because we really wanted to understand what this would look like. Collectives sprung up. We might have been a little late to the party, but through the work of Eric Belcher, who's one of our alumni, who's really spearheaded this effort in creating the 5430 Foundation, has really put us at a point where we can compete with the other schools. That obviously will change with the House settlement. We will bring everything in-house at some point. And then, the student athletes that can earn NIL will still have that ability to go above the cap based on the settlement to create business partnerships like, Travis Hunter has with NerdWallet and Shedeur Sanders with Nike. So I feel like we're in a good spot today. We probably weren't a couple years ago, but I feel like we're in a really good position, and I applaud Eric Belcher and the people around him that have put the 5430 together, and we will continue to work with them until this new shift begins in July 1 of 25.
Hi, Rick.
Oh, hi,
Hope
Adam.
you're doing well. Good to see you.
Yep.
Kind of building off that, with this changing landscape of college football, where do you see things going? Where do you hope to see things going?
Well, look, I mean, our first focus is on what we're going to do at Colorado. So what we're preparing for now, based on the preliminary approval yesterday, is, we've got 4 goals, and we've had 4 goals in all this as we've looked at what we're going to do at CU. And the first is we wanted to provide the similar opportunities that we have today for all of our student athletes. We also wanted to be as competitive as we are today. We don't want to cut any sports, and we want to provide the similar benefits for our student athletes. And what that will look like in a revenue share, again, those are some of the questions that we don't know yet. How does Title IX apply? What does this look like moving forward? We're still don't have any clarity on that, and we may not get any clarity until the end of this calendar year or early in 2025, but we'll be ready to go based on the information that we get. But look, this is going to change college athletics as we know it. And I know I just read something today where some school is cutting a sport. That's not something that we want to do. Our goal is, again, the 4 that I just stated, but we want to support our student athletes and our programs at the highest level because we want to compete at the highest level. And where that goes in 5 years, we want to be a part of that. So this is a next step into being ready for that next thing and whatever that next thing is. But college athletics is changing, and we're on top of it. And we want to do what's right for CU, and our goal, as I've talked with the regents, our president, and our chancellor, is we want to compete at the very highest level, and we're going to do everything in our power to be able to be in a position to do that.
Hey, Rick. Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. How is your office going to kind of tackle the matter of roster expansion and, limitations on the roster and, obviously what it means for one sport may not be the same as what it means for another sport?
Yeah, and look, what I would tell you is that, we've always been in compliance with Title IX, and as we look at roster limits, when you look at opportunities, that applies to Title IX. So we will make sure, I think we're 52% male, 48% female in the campus census, the last report that they had, and so we'll have those opportunities that will fit in there, and that all comes under the roster limits. I would tell you that those are the roster limits at this point. We may not go to the limit in some sports. We may in other sports. That's something that we're working through, but when the dust settles, it'll be in compliance with Title IX.
Mark.
Yeah,
Hey,
Mark.
Mark Kisla, Denver Gazette. I guess 5 years ago, we couldn't predict where we'd be today. Do you believe that 5 years from now, there'll be a Super League or something like it? And then I have a second part follow-up.
Yeah, I guess what I would say is nothing surprises me on where this industry is going. We are going to prepare for what we believe is next. And does it go to a bigger conference? Who knows? I do know that there's TV agreements with all the different leagues, and those don't start becoming renewable until the end of this decade. In 2930, so does it go that long? I don't know the answer to that question, but whatever it is, we're going to be in a position that we'll be prepared for it.
Okay, so I guess the 2 follows are, how much better position do you think you are than you were 2 years ago for the future? And because you're so very good in Olympic sports or cross-country, soccer, ski.
Ski, yep.
How confident are you that 5 years from now that those programs will be healthy and present at University College?
Yeah, look, I mean, do I think we're better positioned today to answer your first question? Yes. We've always, said that we need football to elevate our program, and we all know the importance of football in the Power Five, and we've needed football to be successful. We've got a lot of work to do. We still got a long season ahead of us in football, but I like where we're positioned today. I like the viewership that we're getting. I think we're second in the country as far as the overall viewership of our program, and I think that bodes well for us in the future. I think as we continue to grow, and with this Buffs United campaign, we've got to get more of our constituents involved in us. We've got to find revenue streams that we may not have today. I do think we will look different as we move forward. We're going to have, you can't do it all in revenue generation. You've got to make some cuts in your expenditures, and we will certainly be looking at all of that. But we are going to compete at the highest level in ski and cross country and some of the programs that you mentioned, because we want to win championships in all of our sports. And we know cross country and ski has a history of doing that. We know how important men's and women's basketball and all of our other sports, but we want to win at the highest level in all of our sports.
Does the future of football augment that, or is it detrimental to whether it's your program or at CU or at Stanford?
Again, a lot of it depends on what do those next media rights look like. Because, again, the support that we can provide all of our program is going to be incumbent on the revenue that we can generate. And we know there's certain streams that we can do that. You may see more concerts that we do, because that's another revenue stream for us that we need. But we're going to be very creative in how we look at the whole landscape of college athletics. But we want all of our student athletes to have a world-class experience when they're here. We're going to provide more benefits in this new settlement agreement that we think is going to be beneficial to our student athletes. So we're going to continue to invest in success, and the success lies in our student athletes.
Ryan?
Hey, Rick. 7 straight games and counting on national TV for you guys this year. Just curious how you kind of quantify the value of that for the department and also for the university.
Well, look, I think it's significant not only for our department, but for the university, Boulder community, and in some ways the Front Range. When you have that much viewership on your program, it certainly means a lot. It lifts up all of our programs. And the fact that in the first time in our history, we've been on all 4 major networks and ESPN is significant. And I was here in the 90s, and I think CBS was really the only one that covered us every week back then, if my memory serves me correct. But the fact that we're on these major networks is really valuable to our department. It's valuable to our conference, and it's valuable to our community as well.
Hey, Rick.
Oh.
Brian Howell from Boulder Daily Camera.
Hi, Brian.
For the first time since you've been AD, you have a new chancellor to work with this year. Just curious how that transition's going with the chancellor and the support you're feeling from him in athletics.
Well, look, I think the support, I'll go to the chancellor in a second, but the support that we have from our regents, our president, and our chancellor are very aligned. And we've had a lot of discussions throughout the course of this whole change with the House settlement and all of that. And I would tell you, Chancellor Schwartz has been an incredible support for us at this point. We've had a lot of discussions about what it looks like. He's been to Penn State, North Carolina State, Florida State. He understands what big-time college athletics can do for a university. And like I said, our regents, our president, and our chancellor have been incredibly supportive.
Did you know him in Illinois?
I did not know him at Illinois, but that's probably good.
Okay, Jake.
Yes.
Hey, Rick, just with the revenue sharing and all this new stuff coming with college football, how does that impact your guys' plans to, stadium upgrades, CU Event Center upgrades, stuff like that?
Well, I think we have to look at this holistically, because we do know that we have some infrastructure needs that we have, particularly on the west side of our football stadium. The basketball arena hasn't been renovated for a number of years. There are certain things that we have to do, and that's why it's important for us to become a little broader in our approach on how we're going to generate revenue, because those are things that we have to do in the very near future to be able to be successful. And we do know, based on building this building, the Nerd Wallet Club, the Crawford Club, the premium seating areas have been really impactful for us. They're all sold out for the next 3 years. We don't have any premium inventory in basketball. We need to create some. And we need to create more premium inventory in our football stadium to be able to grow that revenue. So we'll be looking at all those things holistically as we look to what our future looks like.
Okay, time for just a few more. Jason?
Morning, Rick. With the influence of Coach Prime and your experience with the Texas Rangers, any of this news present an opportunity to bring baseball back to CU?
That's always the first question I get when I'm out speaking to our alumni. But, look, I'd love to have baseball. I'd love to have, if you have baseball, you're going to have softball, right? I mean, from a Title IX perspective. So that's something I'd love to have at some point in the future, but it's not something that's going to happen in the near term, in my opinion. We've got other things that we have to fix. The first thing that we've got to do is we got to figure out how do we get to that 22%, and what does that look like, so we can start this next tranche of change in college athletics off on the right foot, and we'll be on the forefront of that rather than being a little bit behind like we were in NIL, and that's on me. It's not on anybody else. So.
Okay. Oh, sorry, do you have anything else? Okay, we're just
That-
going to do three more. Pat, Matt?
Hey, Rick, Pat Graham, Associated Press. Nice
Yeah.
to see you again. The Prime Effect.
What's the Royals hat about?
I'm sorry. It's,
No,
runs deep.
love it. I love it.
The Prime Effect obviously enhances everything from ticket sales to merchandise to just everything. How do you factor that into like the long-term future win, and how do you sustain this momentum knowing he may not be around forever?
Well, look, we hope that Coach Prime finishes his career here. I think he can do significant things for us long-term with longevity. And so, for us, and I think Coach would sit here and tell you that he and I are on the same page about where we want this program to go. It's not a short-term fix. We want to set it up to be sustainable for the future. And I think what he's done has been incredible. I like the culture that he's created. I see it on a daily basis with his student athletes and his coaches. And like I said, I like where we're at. We've got a lot to do still moving forward, and we're on the same page on that.
Okay, Matt, and then we'll
Hey, Rick, how complicated has this whole process been for you guys to keep up with? And how clear is the communication from NCAA leadership, et cetera, on what the future of this is going to look like?
Yeah, look, we spend a lot more time with our colleagues in the league about talking about this and what it looks like. And I will tell you that Brett Yormark has done a really good job of making sure that we're engaged in the discussions about what's ahead for college athletics. And I feel really good about that. We don't meet a lot with the NCAA, but we know understanding what their governance will look like. We don't know what that looks like moving forward, what enforcement looks like. But again, we get most of our information through the conference, and we meet regularly as ADs and our presidents and chancellors to talk about what that looks like. And our conference is set up to be incredibly successful. We know how great it is in basketball, but we also need to make it great in football, and we're making strides to do that. And I would say from top to bottom in this league, it's highly competitive, and we're looking forward to continuing our work in this conference, and we've got a lot of support from the league.
Very brief follow-up on
Yes.
that one. How complicated is your job now compared to when you
It's incredibly complicated. I didn't answer that question, but it's incredibly complicated. But I've got an incredible team around me, my executive team. We've been working on this. We got a lot of smart minds in that room, and we're looking at everything. We want to be on the forefront of this next change, and we're going to be at Colorado because we've got good people that we're working with. Our coaches understand where we're headed. And again, I need to explain to them, what does it look like for you, in your program in the next several weeks. And let's be honest. I mean, we've got a signing day in about 4 weeks, and we have to have some clarity on this for them on what they can do and not do moving forward. So there's a lot of work to be done in the short term, but also in the long term to make sure that we're set up for what's next in college athletics.
Okay, last one for Rick today.
John Treach, 9 News. Rick, you discussed the viability of the Big 12, and with the SEC and Big 10 getting such a stronghold of those playoff spots, right now, how do you feel the Big 12 is set up to get more than just the automatic bid?
Well, look, you can read what you want to read out there. I think the public would like to see a playoff similar to what we have in basketball, where you earn your way in. I think the process that we have right now, where there's 5 automatic bids for the 5 highest conference-rated schools, with 7 at-large bids, I think that's where it should be. I think that's what people want to see. They want to see people earn their right to be in that. And look, the Big Ten and the SEC, I'm glad that they're having conversations, but there's no liability in the Big 12. We can compete against those 2 conferences. We will compete against those 2 conferences, and we'll let the chips fall where they may. But again, I like where we're at CU. I'm thrilled that we're in the Big 12. We've had a lot of success here, and I think we'll see a lot of success in the days to come.
Okay.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Dallan Hayden. Tyler, you want the first one? Yep.
Hey, Dallan, Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. Just being able to get back on the field in the last game, I mean, how good did that feel? And just how far do you feel like the running game has come just in the last couple weeks alone?
Well, first of all, man, it's a blessing. I got to be back out there with the guys. Them 2 games I missed, I hated not being out there because I wanted to help the team, obviously. And the run game, man, I feel like we're getting better each and every week. Zay, Micah did a great job while I was out. Then all 3 of us last game, I felt, did really good in the run game.
Hey, Dallan. Brian Howell from Boulder Daily Camera. Just curious from your perspective how the team handled balance in the bye week with needing some time off, but also staying focused and coming back ready to go.
I mean, we have a pro mindset team, so there was no distractions during the bye week. Everybody was focused on the main goal. Everybody wanted to get their bodies right, but get away from it, but still be where your feet are.
Hey, Dallan, Pat Graham, Associated Press. Not asking you to compare the 2 programs, but you know what a contending program looks like. What about this program at 4-1 makes you feel like it's a contending program? What ingredients do you see in this team that makes it a contending team?
I mean, everybody on the team, I feel like, has a pro mindset. Everybody bashes us for bringing a bunch of portal guys here, but, we brought a bunch of portal guys that have came from winning programs on this team, and I feel like all the guys are bringing that winning mentality to this team, and we're doing a really good job, and I can't wait to keep going.
Hi, Dallan. Adam Munster-Tiger, 24/7 Sports. How are you doing physically? What kind of got you out of the mix early, and are you close to back to 100%?
Yeah, I'm definitely close back to 100% for sure. Nobody gonna be 100 as the season goes because you're gonna get banged up. That's just part of the position I play. But I'd say I'm definitely getting there.
Dallan, Harrison Simeon, Scobo Sports. You've spoken on the Coaching for Literacy charity that you've contributed to in the past. When you got in the end zone for your first time as a Buff against UCF, did that mean a little bit extra to you?
Yeah, I mean, of course it means a lot to me because that charity is a big thing back home for me and, holds a special place in my heart. Actually, my mom went to an event that they held back home when I was in Florida for me since I was absent. So, yeah, they always hold a special place in my heart.
Dallan, on film, you're doing a lot more gap scheme stuff than when a lot of the other guys are running. What goes into that? Is that a style that you're more comfortable with?
I mean, those are I just run the plays that I call, but I would say I'm comfortable with those type of schemes, but, I just execute the plays that's called.
In practice, just going up against your defensive line, Chidozie over there, just how have you seen that defensive line room kind of improve in terms of stopping the
Man,
run?
they doing a great job, and last game they made a statement. Stopped one of the best running backs in the conference, and I trust those guys each and every week, and they gonna keep going.
Dallan, you obviously play a role in pass protection as well, and it seemed like just from the eye test, the UCF game was one of the best games in terms of you guys giving Shador time in the pocket. How much pride do you take in that, and how much ground do you feel like you guys have made up in the last couple of weeks there as well?
We've done a great job pass protecting. I take pass protecting very serious, because if my quarterback gets hit by my man, that's on me, and to me that's being selfish. So I take that very serious.
Anything else for Dallan? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Nick, you want to start us off?
Hey, Chidozie.
How you doing?
Nikki Edwards, Hughes Sports Report. Similar to Dallan, how good did it feel to get back on the field and the defensive line having one of their best games of the season against UCF?
It felt great just to be back with my boys, like Dallan said, but it just felt great, honestly. I was ready to get back and compete,
Brian, go ahead. First of all, can you start with a tutorial on how to pronounce your name?
It's Chidozie Nwankwo. The first N in my last name is silent.
Thank you. Second of all, you guys have faced a lot of teams who want to run the ball. I'm curious if you guys feel like each challenge that you face there, you're getting a little bit stronger against those style teams.
Can you say it one more time, sorry?
Just you guys have faced a lot of teams that want to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like each week you kind of face that similar challenge? You guys are getting stronger in that area?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. If it was me, I'd do the same thing. If I was a head coach at another school, I want to run the ball too. But we definitely getting stronger each and every week. And, just seeing different blocking schemes and stuff like that, it's getting us better, knowing that we are a young D-line. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Chidozie, just from observing you, seems like you're a guy who's, isn't afraid to speak his mind, especially, in that position room, one of the leaders. How challenging is that in a quick turnaround, one school to another school, to assume that kind of position and get comfortable, or is that just who you are?
I would say it's just who I am, because where I was at the University of Houston, I was the young guy, and I was around a whole bunch of older guys like Logan Hall, Payne Turner, guys like that. And just transitioning over, being at Colorado now, it's just easier because I understand the younger guys. I understand where they're coming from, because I was also that guy that didn't know how to do certain blocks, how to play certain blocks, that got frustrated at times. But so I know how to talk to them and stuff like that,
Chidozie, how's it going, my boy? Scott Proctor, Colorado here. When Kansas State head coach says yesterday that their identity right now is number 31, their running back, DJ Giddens. How much importance does that put on you guys up front to, make your presence felt and,
I mean, it's just going to come down to alignment, assignment, and technique. That's really all it is to it, It's being where you're supposed to be where your feet at, doing everything right, do the right thing. Don't be stingy, don't be nosy. Don't just stay in your gap and dominate. And we'll be fine.
Chidozie, Pat Graham, Associated Press. You were part of the team. You helped turn around Houston when you were there. I think you were 12-2 one year. What are some of the maybe hallmarks or maybe ingredients you're seeing at CU that allow you guys to go 4-1 and start the turnaround here?
I would say, as far as the leaders on the team, just the impact that we play to all our teammates. They all believe in us, and that's what it takes to have a winning program. Everybody got to buy in and believe in one another and learn how to be a follower, because that's also how you lead. So.
Hey, Chidozie. Brian Howell from Boulder Daily Camera. It seems like just in watching you guys that there's more confidence that you guys are gaining each week. Are you feeling that like there was some confidence gained from CSU and then Baylor, and then you seem to play with a lot of it at UCF. Are you feeling that this team is growing in confidence?
Most definitely. It just comes with preparation. As we prepare each week, we just had a bye week, and it was much needed and well-deserved from everybody on the team. But now that we're back, preparation. As long as we prepare right and stay together, we're going to be fine.
John, go ahead.
You guys are 4-1. That's an uncommon place in college football. and to have everything in the conference and beyond still out there for you, what's that like in the building, just knowing that everything's in reach?
See, me, I'm out of a stay humble guy, you know. 4-1 is great, but we can do better, and we know we leave stuff on the table each and every game, so that's what we focus on, getting better each and every game. And the winning 4-1 record is great, though, don't get me wrong, but, you know, we just strive for better.
Hi, Chidozie. Adam Munster Tiger, 24/7 Sports. How have you taken to the coaching from D. Lou and Coach Sapp, and what are some of the things they've kind of added to your game under their tutelage?
I just soak everything in, soak as much as I can in, and they've added a lot to my game, you know, as far as the consistency part of it, and what NFL coaches look for, and you know, just as far as my alignment and my assignment and technique as well, just moving my feet on blocks and just doing the little things right. That's what they added to my game.
Hey, Chidozie, Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. You guys have also faced a bunch of running quarterbacks so far this season. North Dakota State, Baylor game, there were some big touchdown runs that they had, but you guys were able to limit KJ Jefferson in the last game. How much do you guys feel like that was an emphasis in that game, and just how much do you feel like you guys have gotten better knowing you're going to face another running quarterback this week?
Man, just everybody doing their 111, you know, just doing the right thing, being where you're supposed to be, you know, playing your alignment, assignment, technique. That's what it comes down to as far as the front seven in football, you know.
Hey, Chidozie, Jack Carlo with Buffalo's Wire. Going back to the leadership, from your perspective, are there any teammates on the defensive side of the ball who you've seen grow in terms of leadership and just getting their voice out there?
I would say we all grow every day. Like one of y'all said, we build confidence every day in each other, you know. So as far as that, everybody, in my eyes, is a leader on the team. Everybody plays a role to one another.
Chidozie, Harrison Samuel on Scobuff Sports. You were a two-time state champion and wrestler in high school. What are some of the traits that you learned in your time in that have kind of carried over and made you the player that you are?
Just using the opposite player's leverage against them, you know, staying low and having a base level, ground center level, you know, just staying low for the most part.
Chidozie, what's it like playing for Robert Livingston and just you know, a younger guy, first time play call and all that, but
yeah,
the performance you guys have shown under him?
It's different, man. I love his energy, man. He brings the energy every day. You know, we have a thing where before you come in the building, you have to have your mind made up, ready to work, because this is a job at the end of the day. Not that we get paid for it, but yeah, having him around is just exciting. It makes you want to play for him. It makes you want to just go to work and attack every day.
How are you feeling physically coming off the injury, and how do you maintain your physical health?
You know, just staying up here with the training staff. We have a great facility, you know, and just continue to better myself. Just putting the work in for my body, and that's pretty much it.
Defense so far has been stellar. PFF loves you guys, but it doesn't seem like you guys get the recognition you deserve. Do you think that you guys deserve more recognition, and do you still kind of have that underdog mentality?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Me and the whole defense, I'm sure of, we will always have that underdog mentality. And, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, kind of. We just focus on going to work every day. We'll get the result. That's all that matters.
Anything else for Chidozie? All right, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Good day, everyone. Hope you guys are blessed and had peace, joy, love, appreciation, respect, and forgiveness. Last week, Ben, one of my favorites, students of the week, biomedical engineering, which is unbelievable, Destin Wade, ethnic studies. This week is Khalil Benson, sociology, and Charlie Arfordall, as usual, developmental biology. TV with Arizona game announced for Fox. That gives us 6 games on network television this season. Through 5 games, we're number 2 nationally. Most viewership with 21.5 viewers. We're the only team through week 5 in the top 5 games of every week. Defense, the Buffs giving up just 7 points in the third quarter this season and just 5.2 points per game in the second half. CU is one of the 6 teams in the nation that has not allowed 100-yard rusher or receiver this season after allowing 14 last year. Good Lord, Jesus. God, that is staggering. PFF grades, Sammy, BJ Arden, all ranking the top 10 in the Big 12, which I don't know what PFF really is. I don't know who really looks at it. Nikhil Green ranked second. I don't know what I'm not going to even bore you with that. Jordan Seaton named to the On 3, which is one of the publications that's not one of my favorites. He's a freshman All-American team. Micah leads all true freshmen with 3 rushing touchdowns. I thought we don't recruit guys out of high school. My bad. Shador named to mid-season. I'm not going to do that because you're going to say I'm talking about my son. Travis, not going to do that because he's just like my son. Anyway, glad to be here. Great walk. Campus is beautiful. Hospitality is great when you're winning. We all know that. But love where we are. But we're not comfortable by any means. Let's go. Ladies first.
Coach, Nikki Edwards, U Sports 4. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. With the news with Woods and Brown opting for red shirt, has anyone had that conversation with you of having a red shirt?
Yeah.
Could you say specifically who?
Several guys. You got to understand it. I understand it, and I always want what's best for the kids. I really do. Like, that's their prerogative. But you know, it kind of puts us in a situation because now is there a question, are you redshirting for us or are you redshirting for you? And it should be NCAA rules and guidelines that if you choose that particular course, not that our guys are, we should be able to allow you to go. Because if a guy is redshirting for himself and he don't plan on being here, why would you want him here and he don't plan on being here? That's really not fair to him. It's not fair to his teammates. It's a lot of unfairness, like the gentleman who chose the red shirt, the quarterback. So is it right that he's still practicing or with the team? Like, what course of action is that? Does he? I don't know. Does he? You guys tell me. Does he still practice? So you just let him walk away. It should be something. It needs to be a rule NCAA-wise to, if that's your course of action, they should let them go and start their next journey with the whatever team that is that they've already been talking to, because they've already been talking. Just like the 2 guys from that we played several weeks ago at Colorado State. They said they were offered how much in the portal? How you offered $600 and you didn't get in the portal? Why can none of y'all ask that question? How are you offered $600,000 but you didn't get in the portal? I got time today. All right, let's move on.
Hi, Coach. Taylor Sadowski.
Taylor, how you doing?
Doing great. How about you, sir?
Wonderful.
Fantastic. So bye weeks are fantastic to get your boys' bodies rested, all that kind of good stuff too as well. But for you as a head coach, how does that just like do for you fundamentally and mentally too as well?
I go to Texas, which is vacation for me. I go and really relax and recalibrate my mind. And the staff knows that been with me. They know when I get back is home. They know when I get back, I got a list of like 30 things that I want to implement it expeditiously. They know I'm calling while I'm gone, and I'm gearing up. I want videos. I want this. I want that. So it's tougher on the coaches when I get away because I come back with much more passion, you know, than I already have, and that's a lot of passion. So I love it, but I wish you can continue to play in the realm that we were playing in, but also we had some guys banged up that needed a week off for sure. So I'm happy about it.
Hey, Coach. We talked last week. What's up, man? How are you? You talked last week about the UCF game and how the extra hours and time in the hotel led to extra film hours.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that can be a kind of like an aha moment for the players, understanding how that can affect them on Saturdays?
Most definitely. It's a moment that they definitely glean from. See, most people think you only learn from your losses, but you learn a lot from your wins. You learn a lot from successes. You don't just learn from when you're getting your butt kicked. I never seen a boxer get knocked out and say, I learned a lot from that, right? Like, you don't, that does not happen most of the time. And these young men they understand. I asked them a question this morning. If God were to give you what you desired in this game, what would it be? And what would you sacrifice for it? Great question. and their answer, the responses, and all that I was trying to get them to understand that whatever you want in life, you're gonna have to sacrifice something. If you want a lot, you're gonna sacrifice a lot. It's not you sacrifice a little and you get a lot. It don't work like that. Life don't work like that. Life is pretty much consistent, tremendously, and football has no feelings or emotions for you. So what you put in, normally you get out.
Hey, Coach. Good morning.
How you doing,
Jason Jones, Sports Illustrated. Since your win against UCF, there have been a lot of national media people, some of which you know personally, have sort of changed their tune on what you in this program can do this year. Do you guys notice that, or is noise, whether it's good or bad?
I notice that because I get it from everywhere. I really don't care, honestly, because as quick as they jump on, they can jump off. As quick as they support, they try to dismantle. As quick as they love, they could hate. So I really don't get into that. I know who it is for my purposes. I definitely know who said what for my purposes. And my sons and Darius and all those guys who reach the people. I mean, they and Neely also, they know. You know, they keep me abreast of what time it is, so I know what's what. But as far as the young men, I just don't want them to believe that they arrived. All this hoopla about Jordan Seaton. I say, Jordan, you know, a couple plays they could have had you right there. Our DBs, you know, if they had threw the ball right there, they had us. So don't believe that foolishness. Work on your game and work on your craft. Be the best you could be, but don't believe the hype whatsoever. Let's keep our heads down and stay locked in.
Hey, Coach, Pat Graham, Associated Press. Nice to see you. Real quick, a procedural question.
Love your hat, man. Love your hat.
Well, exactly. George Brett, baby. Oh.
George Brett, I grew up on George Brett.
That's well you
I
should.
grew up Terry Park.
100%.
I was hustling balls in the third grade. I used to skip school, bring my little sock. I used to beat everybody running when they hit the home run balls, and I used to get the balls, and I used to sell them during the game.
Really?
That was my hustle. I used to always make sure I brought the teacher my best ball with an autograph. I used to sit out there where they came out there out of the clubhouse, and I would get their autographs. And I would beg for crack bats. Crack bats was like $10 or $15. You know, a good home run ball and BP was like $3.50, $1.50 bat ball. Amos Otis, I used to go down there in the batting cages and help him pick up the balls. I used to be standing on the gate, little kid, you know, darn 7, 8 years old, and he used to let me come in, and I help him get up the balls and pick up the balls, and he would give me several of them, and that was my hustle, man. So George Brett, Amos Otis, Willie Wilson, all those guys was my guy. And to top the story off, I was drafted by the Kansas City Royals out of high school.
Really?
Dick Hauser was the manager. Dick Hauser is the one, the late, great Dick Hauser was the one that said, son, if you're good enough for us to draft you right now, I hear you're a pretty good football player. I would go to college and we'll draft you again. And that's why I went and played football, because they offered me a substantial amount of money, even though I wasn't an early round pick. But there's a lot of money from a kid that grew up 2 miles from the place in the hood. Wow. So that's my story about the Royals.
You and Bo Jackson have been perfect.
Hey, man. I don't think they'd let that happen, but.
Hey, you, Shiloh. What's the update?
He's ready. Shiloh's ready. He's practicing. He's full go. Has a rubber cast on. He's doing his thing. I can't wait to see him back there, because he and Cam they're unbelievable together. Carter has done a wonderful job. Got a lot of experience, and he's in on some packages as well. But Shiloh's full go. We should have the entire starting defense this week.
Nice. And then to kind of piggyback off his question.
Yes, sir.
Can you take any lessons from 3-0 last year and apply them to 4-1 this year?
Two different teams. 2 different situations, 2 whole different thought processes, even with the staff, as well as the young men we have in this locker room. But yes, me personally, it's some things that I've done tremendously differently in my approach and to detail with the staff, as well as the young men that play on this team, as well as with the support staff as well. So we had a 6:30 meeting this morning to reiterate some things that I wanted to see on the scout teams to give us the look that we wanted and expedite the look. So yes, there has been different things from my approach, definitely. But those are totally different young men that's out there, man. What we have on defense, I think, is it 2 players, 3 players that started a year ago? I think that's Cam, Shiloh, and Benson, right? Coates, Shane. Yeah, 4. I'm sorry. That's it. So we have several new players that are really doing a great job for us. And offense, what is it? 2? Shador Travis, Jimmy 3. That's it. I love it.
Hey, Coach. Jack Harlow with Buffalo's Wire. How's it going?
Jack Harlow.
We saw a video of you earlier this week telling your team that you guys shouldn't be surprised that you're 4-1.
Right.
I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more on that message and why you felt the need to share it.
How can you be surprised that you're winning in life, Jack? How can you be surprised that you put on a nice outfit and somebody tells you look good? How can you be surprised when you get out that barbershop and you look in that mirror and say, that's the one? Like, how can you be surprised with the expectation you have for yourself? The only way you can be surprised is you didn't expect it. We expect the results when we put in the work. I just don't want it going to their heads, but we shouldn't be surprised of where we are. We should be appreciative in understanding what allowed us to be where we are, but it should be no surprise to you. So when it's a surprise, you get kind of discombobulated and you kind of take things wrong instead of really looking at it and dissecting why you are where you are. It shouldn't be no surprise to anybody, but I don't want them to be in lackadaisical thinking this is easy, because the wind don't care who attains it. Has no mind, no memory, no whatsoever. Does not care. So it might as well be us if it has no care and no feelings for it.
Hey, Coach. John Treach, 9 News. A slightly different question. 4-1 is an uncommon place, and everything is out there for you, conference-wise and beyond. To have that right now, I mean, how exciting is that within your program?
It's not, because you don't expect it. I can tell the way you asked the question, but we do. We expect that. We're some of us are still upset about the Nebraska game. We wish we had that right now, because we felt like we weren't where we are then, where we are right now. Like, we really expect that. It's not being cocky or anything like that. That's what we expect. When we practice like we do, prepare like we do, we expect the results. And we have some players that can really play this game at a high level. That's why scouts are here every day. We just happen to have 2 that, like I said previously, will probably be in the top 2 of the top 5 draft picks. And everybody disputed that, didn't they? This summer? I can't get no help in the church over here. Didn't they dispute that? And get some help over here in the church. I know not to look at that side anymore. They disputed that. Hey, he don't know what he's talking about. Now it is what it is. You start seeing this stuff become a reality. It's real. When we didn't speak it into existence. We know what we see. I know this game. You got to give me some kind of credit for knowing this game of football. I played it for 14 years. I covered it for 20 years. I covered it more than some of you guys have covered it. And I know television, I know this game, I know people, I know management, I know what my expectation is. I know how this thing is supposed to look. So I call a spade a spade. Great question, though. Appreciate it.
Hey there.
How you doing, sir?
Mark Kislett, Denver Gazette.
Mm-hmm.
I'll follow up on something you just said. You have 3 of the top 10 players in college football, and Travis is 2 of them. And that's
well said.
So now I'm going to go beyond that. We've seen from Travis things that we've seldom seen in college football.
True.
We saw from you in baseball and football things we seldom have seen from an athlete. Is Travis more talented as an athlete than you were?
It's not me against Travis. I had my turn, man. I'm not a doorknob anymore. You can't just turn me on and off like a light switch anymore. I don't do that. Travis is everything. It's his turn now. I want him to have all the accolades, all the praise, all the love, all the attention, all the focus that he desires. I've had my turn. I'm that old boxing coach in the corner that says left, right, hit him right here. All right, come on up to the corner. Let me tell you that's who I am right now. I've had my turn. It's not me against him.
Do you see some of your...
I see similarities in certain areas, especially away from the game, especially his demeanor away from the game. I absolutely love it, and I love who he is in the game. We don't smoke, we don't drink, we're not profane. Travis is a really, really, really good young man, a really good young man. Contrary to what you may think, and this is not a shot at any other program, and God forbid that it transpires, but our kids ain't getting in trouble, man. We got some good young men in this locker room, and I think they should be applauded, regardless of what you say or think about them, regardless of how they perform or how they don't perform this week. They get it right and perform the next week, and they're not getting into trouble. And guess what? The GPAs are tremendous. I just checked them and got on a couple of their butts, but they're doing a great job, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the coaches, and I'm proud of the academic team for the standard that they've set, and we are on our way to where we're headed. And I love the direction. I truly do. Tremendously. Not talking about any other college. Just talking about us. I don't need to step on somebody for us to look taller. Never done that when I played, and I won't do it now.
Coach Prime, speaking of one of those young men, Nakai Hill-Green, just how would you describe his impact, on the field, but as a leader for this team as well?
We have a plethora of leaders on that defensive side of the ball, which is a good thing. He's one of them. I cannot praise him without praising Bentley as well. Those guys is like they have a silent competition amongst one another to see who gets to the ball the quickest, to see who racks up the most tackles. Those guys are at it. Both of them are a little banged up, but guess what? They fight through it at practice. I try to give them days off, and they still want to work. So his impact on this defense is tremendous. I love the tone. I love the temperament, the aggressiveness, the physicality. I love what he brings to the table, as well as the intellect and insight.
Hey, Coach. Brian Howell from Boulder Daily.
What's going on?
I have a question and a follow, but you mentioned you guys are different now than Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
It does seem like you guys are different from starting when you came out of halftime at Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
How much joy do you get seeing this team kind of growing in confidence from that point to where you're at now?
Tremendous, because I've seen it well before, and I know coaches get upset because coaches and parents get upset because we know your capabilities. We know what you have inside of you, and we just want you to live out your purpose and what you should be doing. That's why parents get upset with some of y'all in here, and I get upset with some of my kids because of the same darn thing. Coaches are the same way. We're really parenting a football player out there on the field. And just to see them come into their own, just to see them execute the assignments, just to see them want it, just to see them call team meetings on their own and come out here on the practice field and work on their own without us, shoot, that's what you want. I mean, that's the kind of guys that you wanted to gather and call it the team. Those are the type of young men, and those are the men that we have. And, yeah, we had to get rid of some luggage because, we had a limited time to go shopping. And I do mean shopping. And it's unfortunate that's what we do now in college football. Even with guys out of high school, you shopping, and you hope that this outfit look good on you, but sometimes it don't when it gets in the light. So it's a good thing. We're happy where we are, but we're a long way from where we want to be.
Just a quick follow-up to that. With the bye, did you worry at all that a bye would kind of kill some momentum, or do you think this team came back eager to let's keep going?
Worry and faith can't live together. I'm a man of faith, not a man of worry.
Go ahead, Rylan. Last one.
Hey, Coach, Rylan Scholes from Ralphie Report. You have the opportunity to play against one of the big contributors last year and a person you've known for a long time in Dylan Edwards. What is it going to be like to face off against Dylan as an opponent?
They changed their name to the Dylan Edwards? That's what the team is called now, the Dylan Edwards? We ain't playing against Dylan Edwards. We playing against a darn good football team, man. Dylan just happened to be on their team. I love the young man. I love him to life. I really do. And everybody who leaves here in the right manner, as well as just leave, period, I want them to be successful. I have never wished wrongful or bad things on any young man or woman in my life or any of you all. I want you to be successful, and I want you to find your purpose. If you find your purpose and you understand what it is, you won't hate on me. You won't hate on your neighbor, your friend, or your family member. So Dylan made a tremendous choice for he and his family, and I support that 100%. I just hate when guys make those decisions and they leave and they shoot back at us. If you going where you're going, you don't shoot back because you're so focused on where you're headed. You ain't got time to turn around and shoot back. So I thank him for not being that guy. And we had some great moments, and he's going to have many more great moments, so I'm proud of him. I just don't want him to perform well against us, but I want him to perform well against every other team. I really do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. God bless you all. Yeah.